Mrs.
Professor Challenger.
Yes, Professor Challenger. May I ask who referred you again?
It was one of the doctors at the cancer center at Maine Med.
Who's done it? Who?
I'm sorry, Dr. Trevelyan. He just...
Sir, please lower your voice. I have patients in my office.
The hell with your patients. This is my house.
Mr. Blessington, we understand your rules.
Crystal clear. I don't let anyone upstairs, ever.
What about him?
Christopher understands your rules.
I will not tolerate trespassing. I know someone was in my rooms.
When?
While I was walking.
You're mistaken, Mr. Blessington. I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize our deal.
Who else was here?
We've only had 2 patients here this afternoon, sir.
They've been with Christopher and I the entire time.
I don't believe you. Any more intrusions and you are out on your ass.
So sorry about...
Ooh, girl fight.
This is not your normal fictions, Watson.
Get off the couch. You are not 5 years old.
Yes, but what is this, Watson? Some sort of florid fan fiction about me? You know, I'm not an avatar or a blank canvas where you can paint me some knight-errant in armor made out of the tears of pressed men. Like some...
Mary Sue. The term is Mary Sue.
Thank you, but I did not need your interjection, Mr. Hudson. Nope. I am not finished. We were talking about your expose on me.
It's about us, Sherlock.
Really? Where are you in these florid fictions? You are far more interesting than I am. You've been to Vietnam.
I didn't include everything.
Wait, what did you leave
You
out?
want to start with the illegal or the annoying? The 4 a.m. gunshots, the never locking the back door, the various fire hazards you call chemistry experiments.
Why we no longer have a cat.
And the coke.
Really?
I still don't understand why I have to answer the damn door.
Because we are your guests.
Tenants. You are my tenants.
That thing was a demonic beast trying to claw my eyes out while I slept.
I had that cat for 11 years.
I found it a good home.
You've got a client. Says she knows you, Hamish.
Hamish? Hamish Watson?
It's Johanna now.
Johanna? You look great.
You look great too, Patricia. And it's good to see you. Patricia Trevelyan, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Sherlock Holmes. Dr. Trevelyan is an old colleague from New York. She's an immunologist. You may have read articles that she wrote in the New York Native.
Ah. Your article on Dr. Gallo was particularly enlightening.
That was a long time ago.
Indeed. You haven't written anything new in 6 years. Such a pity. Your series of articles on PCP in infants was daring.
I have my own practice now. Here.
Do you specialize in anything?
Why don't we sit down?
So what can I do for you, Dr. Trevelyan? This clearly isn't a social visit.
It was a struggle after med school. After volunteering at the Gay Men's Health Clinic, the whole institution just seemed wrong. I wanted to help people, not run a business.
So you moved to Maine? Willingly?
I had a stroke of good luck after the Montreal AIDS Conference in '89.
Your articles are amazing, Doctor. We could use your talent in Maine. I'd like to help you get started here. You can use the ground floor of my house for your practice, and there's an apartment right in the back for you.
I can't possibly afford that.
Well, you could if you split your profits with me 50-50.
What's in it for you?
I'd like to have a doctor nearby.
Are you positive?
Oh, no. It's an investment. Lord knows you're not going to be running out of patients anytime soon, and I'd like to, well, help. Someone should.
I see.
I only have 2 rules. You and your people are to stay out of my rooms. I demand privacy. And you're to make yourself available whenever I need treatment. Deal?
I don't feel anything.
Hit her harder.
I don't think that's necessary.
You know, if you lift your arm and there's shooting pains, it's a sure sign of the onset of heart failure.
Who's the doctor here, Biddle?
Ma'am, how about we let Dr. Trevelyan examine your friend in private?
Yeah, it'll increase the intelligence in the room. Then maybe she'll figure out what's wrong.
There's some Dunkin' in the lobby.
It was right after their visit that Mr. Blessington had insisted someone had been in his rooms.
What did he say exactly?
He yelled for almost an hour and insisted on showing us his evidence.
What did you see?
Everything looked neat and tidy.
How did he behave after this?
He changed all the locks. He only leaves his room for supper and to go on his evening walks.
Yet, you've seen nothing strange.
No, not until my patient disappeared.
Disappeared?
From my office that only has one means of exit.
Shall I go freshen up?
Don't come any closer. I've got a gun.
Have you lost your mind?
I mean it. I'll shoot.
It's me, Mr. Blessington.
Dr. Trevelyan?
Who else would it be?
Who's with you?
We're detectives. We're here to help you.
Are you sure about them?
Yes, please let us up.
Who wants to harm you, Mr. Blessington?
Everyone. I'm sorry if my caution alarmed you. I'm sure the doctor told you about my recent invasion.
Of course, Mr. Blessington.
I am a man of considerable wealth, and my only investment has been in the doctor. I don't like banks or bankers. I like to keep things close to my chest, so you can understand why someone breaking into my rooms scares me under these circumstances.
You know, I really can't help you if you sing me a story from the very beginning.
I'm being honest about my concerns.
Really? Well, if lying is going to be the standard around here, then I do believe my services are wasted.
Sherlock.
They're wasted? Ah.
Indeed. But judging by your ideas of security measures, it's quite obvious you can handle this.
Miss Holmes.
As for you, Dr. Trevelyan, I sincerely wish you good luck with your endeavours. More so, now I know what brand of paranoia you deal with.
You told me you were detectives. Is that your idea of a detective?
I'll be in touch, Patricia. What the hell was that about?
The only thing worse than a liar is an extremely bad liar. Mr. Blessington is a prime example.
So you're saying Patricia is a slightly better liar?
Good, Watson. Although, of course, I'm making a terrible accusation against your friend.
You don't think she's in cahoots with that man?
No. What is going on in that house is quite extraordinary. It's a case of 2 very different individuals harboring 2 very different and potentially explosive secrets from one another.
Patricia would never risk the well-being of her patients.
Exactly. Tell me, does anything about Patricia Trevelyan's practice strike you as unusual, speaking as a doctor yourself?
Well, it's quiet and low-key, but that's to be expected given her patients.
Did you see the locks?
Doctors lock up their prescriptions all the time.
Why would she come here to stay in Maine after being in New York?
I did.
You were here for an ACT UP protest and then you never left.
So maybe she found something worthwhile to stay for, too.
Like the Canadian border? I don't think border police bothered to search quad bikes.
She would never risk her license.
The whole institution seemed wrong. I wanted to help people, not run a business.
And you jumped straight to drug smuggling.
Admirable! And impressive, given that she's what, barely 40?
Why would she do that? We have AZT now.
Forgive me, Watson, but I get the impression that the US healthcare system isn't exactly cost-friendly.
It does explain her concerns about Blessington's fears.
He could blow her entire operation with his own less than meritorious secrets.
So what's he doing?
Who cares? I'm not about to bring any more attention to that house.
And I believe you described that there was a match between Mr. Simpson and this stain at a number of genetic markers. Is that right?
That's correct.
Or probes, as you've used the term?
That's right.
How many probes did Mr. Simpson
What
match
the fuck?
stain at?
5.
Hello?
Uh-huh. Is that one of the built-in components in the test that you described?
Yes.
Okay.
With regard
Thank
to
you.
the result from the
We'll be right there.
does that mean that these characteristics that Mr. Simpson has
Mr. Blessington is
found
dead.
in the Bundy blood stain are only found in approximately 1 out of 170 million Caucasians or African Americans?
Yes, approximately.
The manipulum, just a mere process of collecting something, picking it up off of the ground and placing it into a packaging.
Go downstairs and secure the perimeter.
Listen, Lieutenant Lestrade said he wants me here when he's not available.
This is not your crime scene. You either go downstairs or you're gonna get written up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting something?
You? Really?
As always, a pleasure to see you, Officer Martin.
What are you doing here?
Our client called us here.
The dead guy? Oh, you're doing a great job. Where's your partner, by the way? Out looking for the real killer of Nicole Simpson?
Smuggling? It's not 1986 anymore, Patricia. People have access to FDA-approved treatments. I hear the heart trials are promising. They're calling it a miracle cocktail.
How are you supposed to afford to pay that much? $10,000 annually for prescriptions that what? Keep you alive, but barely?
It's still not worth your license. I'd do anything to get mine back.
He killed himself.
Oh, well then there's no harm in me having a look around then, is there, Detective Gregson?
The lieutenant's not gonna like this.
So why don't you call him and find out? I'm sure he'll appreciate the interruption over a simple suicide.
Should I call him?
He's at the Milverton's bash with the mayor. Go for it. What are you doing?
Looking for stuff.
You could have stayed.
I gave 10 years of my life to the cause, Patricia. I was treating patients before we knew how it was contracted. I was performing autopsies on boys so they wouldn't be thrown out in trash bags. I just couldn't do it anymore. Everyone died, Patricia. Everyone.
So you give up? To what, play babysitter to a manic depressive drug addict? Her reputation precedes her.
Holmes.
Now what is she doing?
She's doing that thing before she announces a murder.
Officer Martin, you might want to call Detective Lestrade after all. Mr. Blessington's been murdered.
Told you. Are you sure? It looks like he put a bag over his head and slit his wrist for good measure.
Mr. Blessington was already very dead by the time his wrists were slit. The lack of blood clearly shows that. The knife is just decoration.
Where did the knife come from?
Did you see these? These are far too expensive to be Mr. Blessington's. He smoked the cheaper brand. I smelled it on him earlier. These were for celebration, smoked by someone while Mr. Blessington was being killed. 2 people, actually, given by the different colours of lipstick.
Lipstick?
So you're saying the 2 people killed Mr. Blessington?
3.
There were 3 men.
3 people. They swiped the keys from reception, which is always empty after 5, and then came in here and conducted Mr. Blessington's trial.
Trial?
Nasty. They took Mr. Blessington unawares while he was watching TV.
How do you know that?
The carpet paints the picture. The 2 women were over here, Woman A was by the window picking at her nails and then sat in the chair once Mr. Blessington had been killed. Woman B stayed around here, smoking her cigar and watching the proceedings. Person C, a man, was pacing behind the chair. With all trials, there is an execution which he performed with startling proficiency.
All right, so let's say we believe this horror story you just made up. What did Mr. Blessington do to deserve that?
Mr. Blessington did nothing. Lyle Sutton had done plenty.
Wait, Lyle Sutton from the Maltese Four.
Those guys built like millions of dollars from people 6 years ago.
Moffat, Biddle, and Hayward were prosecuted and they got 20 years in federal prison. The DA never prosecuted Sutton. Rumor had it he flipped.
3 months ago, Biddle and Moffat broke out of Danbury prison and started tracking Sutton down. They found him. They posed as 2 patients of Dr. Trevelyan's practice in order to gain access, which means, unfortunately, the man was Christopher, Dr. Trevelyan's RN. He must have done a deal with them to get a cut of the money.
And Dr. Trevelyan can confirm and describe them. What are you doing?
I'm calling the lieutenant. Do you understand how big this is? He's gonna want a search warrant.
Excuse me?
He has to check the Dr. Trevelyan's in the clear. You just did implicate her RN.
Larry's still alive.
Larry's too angry to let a little thing like death stop him.
Thank God for that. Remember when he yelled at us about the t-shirts?
Sure. People are dying, and you fucking sissies are talking about
t-shirts.
Dr. Trevelyan, I'm so sorry. The police are going to find you out in 30 minutes. You have to destroy everything.
What did you do?
Forget the drugs. Destroy the contact
He
information.
promised me a quarter of his stash, $250,000.
The contact information.
Do you know what we could have done with that money?
I know exactly what we could have done with $250,000 fucking dollars.
Okay. So,
Your short-sighted greed has put this entire operation in jeopardy.
I just wanted to help.
You were.
I don't know what you want me to say. We didn't have enough funds to reach everyone, okay? Guy was fucking foolproof.
Shut up! Just shut up! It's not just us, Christopher. The FBI could shut everyone down. Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Cannot fucking believe you.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Forget the drugs. Destroy the contact information. There's no hope for us. We have to protect Owana. We have to protect our allies.
Once they found the Q, the HPA-23, and the DDI, it was over.
Well, excellent work, Detective. She's lawyered up, but we got enough evidence to convict her for a long time.
I had to listen to that agent go on and on about Detective Lestrade's good police work.
Oh, thank you, sir. It's an honor to work with the FBI on this.
I swear I could have decked him.
Well, you're not the only one willing to resort to violence. Gregson looks ready to murder Lestrade.
I'd acquit her, even with all these witnesses. That asshole is going to take all the credit. Again.
Well, I'm not exactly enamored to have my name attached to this. It's better he take it.
Discovering the missing partner of the Maltese Four and a smuggling operation in one day? I'm pretty sure the chief of detectives is yours.
One can hope. I mean, I'll have to find someone to replace me first.
I'm sure you'll pick the right man for the job. Seriously though, Jeff, do you ever miss the good old days of actually working for your country?
The country life suits me well.
And what about the other cases? I'm serious. He's going to get this promotion because of you. You are doing all the work, and he treats you and me and Gregson like shit.
You think your stories are going to fix that? They'd provoke him more than anything.
I don't care if they provoke him. I am telling the truth.